And as if that wasn't enough, Seth's strange quantum world suggests a universe splitting into multiple others all around us. The notion of one universe is clearly resting on perilously shaky foundations. It's a dramatic turn of events that could fundamentally change the way we view ourselves forever. But while these scientists might agree that the universe needs to be retired, deciding what the multiverse actually looks like is an entirely different matter. The first and perhaps most straightforward model is the infinite patchwork multiverse. Arguably, it's the least controversial idea, but nonetheless, it has some pretty astounding consequences.
Even if the multiverse, all of space, is infinite, the part of space that we can observe, our universe, is finite, with a finite amount of stuff. Only about 10 to the power 80 atoms, which can only be arranged in a finite number of ways. So if you start considering all the other regions of space, if you roll the dice infinitely many times, eventually we're guaranteed to find an identical copy of our whole universe, as well as countless variations where things are similar to here, but still different.
The infinite multiverse is a bit like an endless patchwork quilt. Each patch is another universe, the same size as our own, each one containing a finite number of particles, each with its own configuration that forms a universe. So what might these other universes be like?
We know exactly what our universe looks like, the familiar everyday. In yet another one, the dinosaur-killing asteroid that was our lucky break missed Earth, so there are no humans, just dinosaurs in Winchester today. There's another one where the powers that be decided to film this interview not here in Winchester, but at Niagara Falls. And yet another one, I didn't make it as a physicist, but I'm actually enjoying life working as a bartender. Then there's a whole bunch which are very similar, where I just chose to dress a little bit differently.
In this multiverse, every single possibility is played out somewhere. There are infinite copies of Earth, some familiar, others where history took an entirely different course.
One where actually the Germans won World War II and wir reden alle Deutsch jetzt. And finally, if you go a bit over a Googleplex meters away, where a Googleplex is one with a Google zeros and a Google is one with 100 zeros, then we come to a universe that looks exactly like this one.
It sounds like fantasy, but this is exactly what the maths predicts. Somewhere right now, you're being attacked by aliens. Another you has just won Olympic gold. In one world, you're behind bars. In another, you've just been elected president. The possibilities are only limited by your imagination. An infinite multiverse with infinite copies of you is probably more than enough to be getting on with. But this is just the first stop on the magical multiverse tour. Anthony has a very different vision of the multiverse. It's a place of even more mind-bending diversity, where not even the laws of nature are the same.
Imagine this lake is that inflationary substance that existed before our Big Bang. But this medium has the property that it inflates the universe. It doubles its volume and size every tiny fraction of a second. That's the inflating background, but then within that background, bubbles can form. And although these bubbles start small, they grow. They grow, in fact, infinitely big. And so within one of these bubbles could reside our entire observable universe and even a whole lot more. As this process goes on, you end up with a huge, an infinite even, number of these bubbles. Some could be our observable universe, some could be other universes with potentially different properties.
And it's these different properties that mark this multiverse out from the rest. Unlike the others, in the inflationary multiverse, the laws of physics vary from one universe to the next, making it a very strange place indeed.
What's fascinating about this sort of multiverse is that these universes can have incredibly diverse properties. Some of these might be like our universe. They might have very low energy, they might have electromagnetic force, they might have about the same strength of forces we have atoms, planets, stars, galaxies. Everything we see could be in some of these other bubbles as well. But they could be radically different. For example, some of the bubbles might not have an electromagnetic force. Some of them might have an electromagnetic force, but it's much stronger than ours, and atoms wouldn't exist because they would all collapse or explode. In these other universes, there might be physics students taking physics class, but as well as learning different things in history class, they learn different things in physics class than the physics students in our universe. So these students might, for example, be going to class in 5 dimensions rather than 4 dimensions. Or they might be talking about a whole different force, the blue force, that we don't have in our universe. They might not have atoms. They might have other strange collections of quarks that combine in some strange way and create more complicated forms that can form life and physics students. There might be, boy, I haven't thought about this very much. I'm just making it up.
Infinite bubble universes bobbing around on an inflationary sea where the laws of physics run riot. Maybe it's making you feel like you've consumed too much bubbly yourself. But this is nothing compared to life in the quantum multiverse. In a world where things can be in 2 places at once, there are multiverses lurking right under your nose.
Great. Pan-fried dumplings, my favorite.
The quantum multiverse could be all around us, but we can't see it because it operates according to the utterly bizarre laws of quantum mechanics.
So the quantum multiverse is not separated from us by distance. It's not someplace very, very far away. It's someplace that's effectively here in space, but the complexity of the quantum dynamics prevents these different branches from talking to each other.
The quantum multiverse comes from Hugh Everett's idea that every single event that can happen does happen. They just take place in parallel worlds. It's like an infinite garden of endlessly forking paths.
How do we make sense of this wacky quantum multiverse in which all possibilities exist simultaneously? So every time I flip a coin, say heads or tails, that is just some little quantum accident. The universe is splitting into 2 worlds every time it comes up heads or tails. So our experience of this splitting is like the experience of walking through a garden of paths that fork. When we come to a fork in the path, we take one or the other, heads or tails. But both forks exist at the same time. We only experience one of them. Every time I flip a coin, the universe splits into 2 worlds. Heads, I stick around. Tails, I'm out of here. Okay, it's heads, I stick around. So in that other universe where I got tails, the interview's over. Sorry, lady.
To understand what this might be like, imagine Seth's next few hours determined by the toss of a coin alone.
I'd had enough of that interview. Let's see. I flip the coin again. Heads, I go left. Tails, I go right.
Already the universe has split into 2, a Seth in a restaurant and another Seth wandering the streets.
Maybe I should take a shortcut over to the Bowery through this little alleyway here. Should I do it? Looks a little dark. Let's let the coin decide.
Another flip, and the universe splits again. In this one, Seth makes the fateful decision to walk down the alleyway. But in another universe, the Seth who didn't take the shortcut is safely taking a taxi home.
So we can continue. So the me that went left went home, back to the hotel, good night's sleep. The me that went right said, let's see what Chinatown has to offer. Here's an arcade. Shall I go in or not?
Another split, and one Seth decides to try his luck. The other Seth chooses to walk home, which results in the great New York coffee disaster. After a few hours, multiple Seths occupy multiple universes. Each one irrevocably separated, existing in their own reality.
Quantum accident, like sitting down this alleyway.
Each with its own independent future. This bewildering quantum multiverse is what's known as the Hilbert space. It's a place of endlessly forking paths and parallel realities. A place where every version of every event for every living organism on Earth is happening somewhere.